You're listening to Never Heard of It, a Night Shift Radio production. So it was a long time ago, or maybe it's a long time from now. Maybe it's the far past.
The far distant future, or possibly a long time in the past.
I get them confused. Time is more like a giant ball of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
I mean, yeah, like what does time really matter? And when you're talking about the vast distances of time required for a story like this, does it matter if it was the distant past or the far future? Are they the same thing? Is time a giant circle?
Yeah, I mean, time and relative dimension in space. That's all I have to say. So with that, I also have to say hello and welcome to the Never Heard of It podcast. I am your host, Michael Fight.
And I am Caleb Space Coy.
So we're continuing on with Caleb's birth month, which is exciting because your birthday is what, 3 weeks from now? Today is the 11th.
I say today is different for us than it is for the listener.
Yeah. So your birthday is 2 weeks and 1 day from today.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, motherfucker. Yes.
15 days.
15 days, bitches. It's very exciting.
October has not let us down yet. We're 3 episodes in, 2 episodes and a bonus.
Yeah. No, it's been a good one. I'm not gonna lie. This one was pretty wild, but I really like this movie.
It was a fucking ride.
It was a fucking ride. And I'm not going to lie, like this actually almost like spawned me. I like searched them up on Amazon. I was like, well, maybe I want to buy the comic books now.
Yeah.
Because like, this is a really cool fucking story.
Yeah. So of course, if you haven't noticed it, we're talking this week about Harlock, Space Pirate, and also known as Space Captain Pirate, Space Pirate Captain Harlock.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So it's not Harlock the Space Pirate, and it's not the Space Pirate Harlock. It's just Harlock Space Pirate.
Space Pirate.
It's just fantastic. So Harlock Space Pirate is
that would be his business cards.
His business card.
Harlock.
Yes. Hi. Hello, Harlock Space Pirate. Nice to meet you.
That's what's on his LinkedIn profile.
It's on the LinkedIn profile.
I'm sorry, his space LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. What sort of qualities do you have? Well, I'm comprised of 90% dark matter. I am immortal. I have a scar on my face across my eye, but it's completely unrelated to the story of how I lost my eye. Just pure coincidence that they both happen to happen at the same time in the same place. Not related at all. Very amazing story. But yeah, so Harlock Space Pirate is an animated movie, but it is not. I don't consider this anime.
No, well, it's anime adjacent.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I did see it. I was well aware.
It's the 3D, like somewhat realistic animation thing from like the Final Fantasy movies, and I mean, not really much of a comparison, but like the Polar Express, like that kind of very intentionally realistic 3D animated, but animated nonetheless.
Yeah.
But based off of a manga series.
Yeah, a long running one too, because there are many stories about Harlock, and we kind of learn a little bit about Harlock and how the title, I guess the title of Harlock is. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But I mean, the plot of this is kind of like the plot of the actual manga is kind of interesting because it's basically like it's kind of Battlestar Galactica-ish.
Yeah,
ish. Yeah, I think we should get the Set Condition 1, folks. By the way, nightshiftradio.com/shows. You can hear all about Set Condition 1 in our Battlestar Galactica fancast, which follows the 2004 sci-fi series episode by episode from the eyes of a newcomer.
Well done. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a little bit Battlestar Galactica, a little bit Foundation-esque.
Yeah.
Little, yeah.
I mean, any story that has to do with humans in space. I mean, it's
humans
also
in space.
Stargate. It's also very Stargate-ish, right?
You're very Stargate-ish.
I mean, it's true. I've been called James Spader on many an occasion. Like, oh my God, is that actor and director James Spader? And I'm like, no, we just don't look alike, but I get that a lot.
I get that all the time.
Yeah. Such a common mistake. You'd be surprised. But yeah, I mean, so the plot is, humans did a thing on Earth and it became a theocracy. And then it became like over capitalist theocracy. And a bunch of people were like, well, that's fucking dumb. And so this one dude was like, no, that's extra fucking dumb. You're killing the planet. You became a theocracy. Now I'm going to kill all the global elites. And I mean, I'm still on his side. They were like, he's a bad guy. And I'm like, but is he though? But is he though? Because
it seems to me like he's got a point.
I mean, I'm not even like, well, kind of. I'm like, this is like saying, like, is spaghetti good? Yeah, of course spaghetti's good. It's like, this isn't a debatable thing. Anyways.
There was also a TV series based on the manga. Also Space Pirate Captain Harlock.
Space Captain Harlock. Captain.
I also kind of want to check out these other forms of media. Different plot almost entirely.
Completely.
Than this movie, which having like no reference, no background from the franchise at all, I actually kind of appreciated. That they did something different with this, where maybe if I was an existing fan, I might have been upset. I don't know.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think the thing about, so if anybody is fans of game series like Mass Effect or like BioShock or anything like that, or specifically Mass Effect, I would say this one, the other series, the manga and the other anime, is probably more akin to like the alien fucking you're probably used to. Whereas this one was very more human on human love interest, let's say. But the other one, when I was reading up on it, they were like, yeah, he screws the green alien thing and he screws this other alien thing. And I'm like, fucking dope. I want to see dope alien sex. Why am I watching this instead? So it's kind of frustrating.
I mean, I guess since you put it out there, not really much of a content warning. There is no alien fucking. There is no human fucking. Yeah. There is like mild cartoon nudity as a cartoon character is in a shower.
It's the most random fucking scene. We see a woman in a shower, and she's not even like a main character, so it's like even weirder because like she's kind of, I mean, she's really just like a side character.
It sets her up like she's going to be someone's main love interest, and like she has a part. She is not unimportant to the story, but like that scene kind of was.
Yeah, I mean, the scene definitely, to your point, like the scene definitely made it seem like she was going to be special in some way. Like they were like reintroducing her to be like, and now let's hear this bitch's story. And you're going to be like, oh, cool. She's going to do something cool. And she does something cool. She's naked and showering, and she jumps and does like a flip in the air. And conveniently, the bubbles just cover all of her parts. It's very random. Maybe that's space showering. I don't know. And then the scene,
have you ever showered in space? I've never showered in space.
I mean, I don't know. That could be accurate.
I can't say that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, and then that scene ends, and you just don't see her again for like 20 minutes, and you're like, oh well, that was fucking random, but cool. I think you were just trying to show off how well you could animate a butt. So kudos.
I mean, yeah,
like, they did good.
It was a well done animated butt.
Yeah. They did lots of animated squats. Which you can just see the animator squatting while trying. So, which brings me to a point I want to talk about in terms of space and space movies. So Battlestar Caleb is doing squats. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can see Caleb doing on squats. If you are not watching on YouTube, fucking watch on YouTube so you can see Caleb doing squats. It's fantastic.
I don't know that that's a selling point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what people are probably like, I'm deleting my YouTube app right now, actually.
Googling how to delete YouTube accounts.
They just lost all interest of YouTube. It's a site you should watch. So my thing about space movies and especially, you know, things like Battlestar Galactica, like this, I mean, like Star Wars and all that stuff. The problem is that I would say roughly 98% of the world's population only knows space and thinks of space in how it's seen and portrayed in sci-fi movies. So I would say, as an example, spaceships flying through space. If I were to just pick a random person off the street that just conveniently was not like an astrophysicist or something and be like, how do spaceships fly through space? They'd be like, oh, well, you know, it's a big ship and then there's the rocket in the back that, you know, sets out the fire and propels it forward. And that would be their understanding of space. Mm-hmm. But that's not actually accurate because there's no oxygen in space, so you can't ignite a flame. It doesn't work that way. It's used by propelling energy and like airflow, you know, like Battlestar actually does a really good job about this. Battlestar Galactica does a very good job with the Raptor pilots. Viper pilots? Raptors.
Viper. I mean,
Vipers.
both, but the Vipers are the more maneuverable fighters. In fact, the Vipers are, for those of you who have listened to Second Edition 1, you know that we've gone off on this in the past. The Vipers are the example of how you would actually maneuver in space where there is no up or down or forwards or backwards. And so, like, we see them maneuvering, sometimes quote unquote flying upside down, sometimes just like turning on a dime or flipping upside down, because like what's to stop them?
Right. I mean, what is to stop them? Not friction.
Not
friction.
Gravity.
Fucked right off in space. Friction existed in space, and I was like, you know what, dude? I'm just getting straight bad vibes here. I'm gonna bounce. Peace.
Feeling a lot of tension.
I just feel like I'm really not like welcome here. So I'm gonna take my molecules and go. I don't know, dude. I don't know how friction works. I'm not a fucking astrophysicist. Very actual real science. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. But I mean, I have to say that if we get to the point where we are all living in space, holy fuck, do I want to drive the haunted space rocket thing? It's the coolest fucking thing ever. Oh my God, it's so cool.
So I mean, obviously it's a sci-fi action animated adventure movie. So you kind of have to throw all doubt to the wind to begin with. I think suspension of disbelief, just you have to start there. So that said, like you have to apply a significant amount of suspension of disbelief to this movie as it just kind of makes shit up as it goes. But fucking massive haunted self-healing star cruiser with a dark matter drive and like endless energy laser cannons, like fuck yeah.
Plus it's driven by an actual fucking wheel, like a pirate ship wheel. It's driven, the spaceship is driven by a pirate ship fucking wheel. And that is the coolest shit ever.
And its central computer potentially contains the essence of a human. And the dark matter engine is controlled by the last of her species, like plant elf.
Niffling, yeah, she's some sort of Spriggan, that's for sure. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Fucking cool. And so she has the eyes that blink like one way and then the other, and it always reminds me of that scene in Men in Black when he was like, and then the suspect blinked two eyelids. You mean blinked twice? No, sir. I mean blinked one set, then a completely different set. Because he does the blink one way, blink the other. It was cool. I don't know. She was cool. But beside the fact that her outfit is, one, she has a thong painted on her skin tight armor with an arrow that just points directly to her vagina.
Okay.
or where the human vagina would be. She's an alien. It could be in her face for all I know. I don't know.
So we also mentioned briefly the character of Kay, who was the one who was portrayed as showering throughout most of this film when she's not wearing like a heavy like mech suit or like some sort of battle armor. Has a full body suit that covers every inch of her, yet somehow still manages to convey the image of a corset and thong.
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
spot on. I don't know, whatever, dude. But all I'm saying is there should have been more alien fucking. That's all I'm saying.
This movie needed at least 50% more
At
alien
least
fucking.
50% more alien fucking. Like I saw the Niefling thing and I was like, here we go, dude. It's gonna get fucking creepy, and nothing. It was kind of disappointing. But so Harlock the space pilot. So what I mean, so we talked about like people live off on Earth. So what is this movie about, Caleb? What is it? What is the general plot?
Well, the general idea is that somewhere in the far distant future or way back in the past, humanity has discovered faster than light technology and has decided to colonize the stars in one of my favorite sci-fi concepts that we go out amongst the galaxy and
Ad Astra.
basically just find habitable planets just everywhere. They're fucking left and right habitable planets.
Everywhere you fucking turn.
Everywhere you look, here's a planet. There's a planet. And so they colonize all these planets, but the colonies start to slowly fail one by one as either people find them to be not particularly habitable or something goes wrong. In the comics, in the manga, it is apparently a sense of ennui that that infects the people who are they just kind of give up, or also there's invasions by hostile life forces, which we don't really see in this one. In fact, they actually make a point of saying that humanity, after spreading out amongst the galaxy, essentially determines that they're alone, which I think is the way that they're trying to set up this sense of hopelessness, this kind of sense of being lost and adrift. And so like the only other colonies that we actually see, one completely failed. There's no human life on it anymore. Just the local fauna. And then
a dope fucking little tree unicorn thing.
Yes.
Whatever the fuck that was cool.
And then the only other one we see is basically like an old west saloon town, but out in space somewhere.
It's, I mean, in my opinion, that's just a Cowboy Bebop reference.
I mean, maybe,
which they began filming again last week. So hopefully we'll get that live action Cowboy Bebop movie soon.
Get it.
Don't stop. So this film was directed by Shinji Aramaki, who is most known, I guess, for directing the Appleseed anime, a few Ghost in the Shells, the new Ultraman series, which is on Netflix, which is actually pretty cool.
Oh, neat.
But I think most notably for Caleb, the two Starship Troopers animated movies. This is the same director who did. So it's pretty good. So that's
that actually makes
Traitor
sense.
of Mars and Invader is the other one, or Invasion.
Yeah, I was thinking how the mech suits that they wear mostly in battle and in like boarding other ships and whatnot remind me of a crossover between like the Marauder armor and the was it BioShock that had the
BioShock
giant...
with the big and that's 100% BioShock. Yeah. So which brought me to the thing about this movie is that this movie looks really cool. The facial animation is probably the worst part. Like the people themselves are probably the worst animated things in this film. There's not a lot of expressions on their face. They sometimes move very kind of weird and they don't move like natural or like how you would see something now. Granted, this film was made 7 to 8 years ago. 7 or 8 years ago, not 78 years ago.
Yeah, 2013.
Yep. And but it kind of looked, this whole film kind of felt like it was, if you were just to like cut out the gameplay of a video game and just only strung together the cinematics. Like that's what this movie felt like. It was just the cinematics of a really fucking cool, like space themed, like a Mass Effect or something like that. Like if this is Mass Effect, you just cut out all the gameplay and just left in only the cinematics. That's what it felt like.
I mean, I do love modern cinematics and how they tend to be this caliber. Like it's really, really fascinating.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like this definitely reminded me of like a Mass Effect or like a Destiny, like cutscenes. Like that's what it felt like. And it was. I mean, it's cool. Like I dig it. And as I said, the facial expressions and stuff is probably the worst animation of it. But even that, it's still not terrible. But I would say the one thing that was probably the most. Or the two things to me that stood out the most in terms of the animation was one, the textures of everything. Holy shit, was everything so fucking good looking. Like you could see creases in people's jackets, like all of the clothes had texture to them and it looked natural and good.
Well, like the above the like quote unquote corset part of Kay's armor was like all knit, so it looked like she had like a knit turtleneck sweater, and like you could see the like stitching in it, and like really detailed.
It was really, really cool. And like Harlock's cape is like very leathery, and you can kind of see the little, the things you see, the little whatever's on that, which was really good. And then the other thing was the actual pirate ship itself, the haunted ship. Every time it came into orbit, oh my god, it was so. There was like either be like a billow of smoke and like lightning, and then it would just like because it has like a skull front to it, kind of like a battering ram, and it would push through it. Every fucking time, I was like, "This is so fucking cool!"
So cool. One of the most important things that any like space travel, sci-fi, epic, whatnot has to establish is how do people travel amongst the stars and throughout the galaxy, throughout however far they're able to go. And we do establish that this society, the civilization, has faster than light tech, and we see that in action as the Gaia Federation, the kind of the military of the series, as they use what they call their instep technology, where in is capitalized and it's like hyphenated instep. So presumably that stands for something, although I don't have the backstory to know for sure.
Stands for something spacey.
But we see them almost like dissolve into like a laser lights and like zip off into the ether, and it's really cool. And it's this like
every time.
Yeah, it's this really interesting effect where like sometimes you'll see the just like boom disappears. Sometimes the ships will stretch, like in various sci-fi TV shows and movies and whatnot. You'll see different variations of this, but in this they like dissolve into light. That's really cool. But then there's the Arcadia, which doesn't travel by a faster than light drive. They travel by the was it Niflin? Did we say that was the
Nifling? Yeah, it's Niflung or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, by their dark matter engine technology, and they dissolve and reappear into this like black smoky cloud, and it's this it's the most badass thing that I think I've ever seen for space travel.
Yeah, theirs is more of a teleportation and less of like a light speed travel. Theirs is more of like a instant wormhole. Leave here, like a waypoint, almost like pop here, pop to this other location.
And you would imagine if it's using dark matter, that's probably the intention, is that they're somehow bending space, or like opening up a hole essentially to go instantly from one location to the other, rather than having to travel that distance.
Yeah,
which again is something that Kitsy and I have discussed in Second Edition 1, the difference between like faster than light travel versus warping space.
Right. Yeah. The FTL versus the Q snap you to wherever the fuck I want to snap you. Yeah. That was Star Trek, so but yeah, I know. It's super interesting. And again, though, that's another one of those like we only know that from sci-fi TV and not like realistic science, because I would venture to say it just pretty much doesn't exist outside of theory.
Yeah. I mean, as of right now, there is no no known way to travel faster than light or to like intentionally bend or warp space in the sense of being able to then travel vast distances in short amounts of time.
Well, I mean, wormholes and like Einstein-Rosen bridges, like they also don't even like those are also still pretty much theory. Even if it's accepted theory,
Right.
it is still just theory. Definitely, if any of this interests you, 100% check it out. There's actually some really good Neil deGrasse Tyson podcast episodes about this very specific thing with more detailed and science terms than we could probably muster. Although Caleb did a very good job of describing it, nonetheless, there's some stuff. So definitely check those out if you ever get a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of this shit like from an entertainment perspective my entire life, but do I properly understand it? No, absolutely not.
Right. If someone was like, you can watch this episode of Star Trek when they repair the FTL drive and make it go faster, their warp drive to make it go faster than warp 5. Or you could read this book about physics and learn how it's actually done and be like, oh, no. I'll watch Picard and Geordi figure that shit out. I don't need to read Baraka's brain or some shit. I mean, you should read Baraka's brain or Contact more specifically. It's a great book. But yeah, so the story.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, give me Salvor Hardin doing math to do light speed jumps all day long, but like, I don't have to like actually do the math myself.
Right. So, the story. So this is one of those ones that's very confusing because the name of it's confusing up until the end, and it's probably confusing if you haven't read the manga. But the name of the movie is Harlock Space Pirate, and although Harlock is the point of the movie, like Harlock is the main figure in the movie because of what he's looking to do. So what we learn is Harlock has learned about these nodes of time that if he basically activates all of them or destroys all of them, it'll kind of reset the universe Big Bang style. So basically it'll just like implode everything and then pull Big Bang, the whole universe starts fresh again, no humans, nothing, like everything goes back to zero. And so his thing is he's basically been he's as far radicalized as you can get in terms of like down with the system. He was like down with the system, but I mean like the literal everything system, not just like the universe system, not just like our government, like no, fuck the entire universe, reset it all to zero. We've done fucked up. So that's his plan. Now the problem is that what we've learned is that his crew thinks that this means he's just going to like hit the reset button on to like a specific point in time, like back to the point when humans were just about to destroy the planets and do their thing, before everybody fucked it up, to kind of like start fresh. Like they're thinking more like timeline reset, think like Primer, like they're going to go back to 8 a.m. type deal. Good, but reference. It was a good, if you haven't, catch our Primer episode, like 4 episodes ago. But that's not really what Harlock is trying to do. He literally is trying to reset the entire thing. But the thing is that the movies, Harlock he's the main character, but we don't follow Harlock. We actually follow Logan, whereas we learn Logan is basically a double agent who has been placed by the Gaia Federation, specifically his brother Ezra. He has been placed by his brother Ezra into Captain Harlock's crew, so that he can kind of get the inside scoop, let him know where they're at, what their plan is, and then he can be from the inside sabotage it. So that's Logan's goal. But Logan is kind of wavering a little bit. We learn that Logan also slept with his brother's wife. So that was a thing. That's a point of contention. We also learned that there was some form of explosion which caused not only Ezra to become paralyzed, Professor X style, but also put his Ezra's wife, which I forgot what her name is.
Nami,
yeah. Mommy, MAMI, I think it is. I'm not sure, but it basically
Nami.
Nami. Okay,
yeah.
Nami. So it ends up putting Nami into a Victor Freeze's wife style coma, but she has a interactive hologram, which was actually such a cool scene when we find that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really great.
Really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we learned that Logan is kind of like taking after his mother. Like he doesn't want to be involved in like being a soldier or anything like that. He wants to be a botanist. He wants to figure out how to bring life to Mars. Essentially, like he's raising plants and wants to figure out how to like basically bring this planet back to life. And the flowers aren't growing properly. Something goes wrong, and he goes to make adjustments that Ezra warns him like the system can't handle this, which he's never explained exactly why. All he does is essentially turn a what is the valve, like a giant wheel valve, and suddenly the greenhouse explodes, and for all intents and purposes, basically kills Nami, paralyzes Ezra, and leaves Logan completely unharmed physically.
Physically,
he's very clearly emotionally scarred, and
he is torn up.
He'll do anything to make it up to his brother, who sees the opportunity to manipulate the situation, and says, "Be my legs, fight for me."
Yeah,
Ezra's kind of a dick. I'll say it.
Yeah, Ezra's not a good guy. Like I do kind of feel bad for him. In all fairness, Logan like slept with his wife and then almost killed her and made him paralyzed, and then was like, "Ha, peace out, homie. I'm gonna go play with pirates. What up, deuces?" So like kind of fuck Logan too in this instance. But
we don't know for sure that there is a physical relationship. We just know that Nami never truly loved Ezra, that she really loved Logan, and we know that they had at least a strong emotional connection. We can see that in the flashback scene.
Yeah, there definitely was. So like we also get the implication this is a very like common anime trope of like they grew up together. They were childhood friends, and she just always holds a candle, still has a flame. I don't really know that saying, so I'm just gonna stop saying it.
You're fine.
Okay, cool. Like
you say enough variations.
Yeah, if you'll figure it out. If you also don't know that, you're gonna be like, "What is he fucking talking about candles right now? This fucking idiot." But yeah, so Logan has now joined the Harlock army, and it was this very cool moment where they capture a couple of people, and they're like testing them, and they have them on the edge of a ship, and they're like, "What do we fight for?" And one guy was like, "I don't know, fucking parties or something," and they throw him off the ship, and then another one was like, I don't know, bitches, and they throw him off the ship. And then Logan's turn and like, "What do we fight for?" And he's like, and then just as he starts falling, "For freedom!" And that's when Kay rescues him and pulls him up, and Harlock is like, "Yeah, that one."
Mm-hmm.
And then it flashes forward, and now we see that Logan is a part of the crew. He's done some training, and he's ready to go. And this is when we learn about the plan of Harlock is trying to basically disrupt the nodes of time to reset the universe. Now, before we get into the rest of the plot and kind of dig in a little more, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will do the thing I just said we were going to do. But before we go, not after we go, but before or during when we go, did you know that we have a super dope merch store?
Do we?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. There are tons of cool things that you definitely are going to want to check out. So, Caleb, where would you go to find that?
Well, I'm just learning about this right now, but if I were going to go somewhere, I would guess that it's probably at nsrad.io/merch. because that just makes sense to me.
I mean, it's just very convenient.
But I would guess that you could probably also find it from nightshiftradio.com. I bet it would be linked from there as well.
Yeah, that seems like it would make sense. I hear that nightshiftradio.com also has not only a blog with lots of different posts from all the hosts of all current five of our shows, as well as, I do say, as well as links to, for longtime listeners, that was also really fucking funny. But it also has links to all of our other shows, our merch store, the About Us section. It's just a really great place to learn more about the Night Shift Radio team. So let's go ahead and take a break. We will be right back.
You're listening to a Night Shift Radio production. Night Shift Radio is a modern media company bringing you shows that entertain, inform, and most importantly, provide an escape. Never Heard of It dives into the world of bad, obscure, and sometimes just weird movies. Follow along with the crew of Set Condition 1 as they experience the 2004 sci-fi hit Battlestar Galactica, one episode at a time. Each week on Left of the Dial, we explore a new record or revisit an old favorite. We'll bring in guests to talk about their own music and the state of the industry. The Superpod Hero Cast, guys with beers talking about movies with capes. They draw a random comic-inspired movie from Thor's helmet and offer thorough, insightful, and humorous commentary. And once a month, tune into the Storyteller series and get lost in the magic of a good old-fashioned radio drama. Learn more about these fine shows at nightshiftradio.com and subscribe on your favorite platform.
Hello and welcome back.
So I feel like our sponsor this week was particularly appropriate for this episode.
Yeah. Well, our sponsor last week. Because I think last week was our last time with that sponsor. Because I think it was only two. So the Voices was the last one, and Stay Tuned was the first one.
Oh, I've got
unless they want us extend that contract, we can negotiate.
Yeah, I don't know if it was in the far future or the distant past that happened. But also, fun fact: while watching this movie, Tubi served me up an ad for Funimation as well.
Same, yeah. So for people that listen to our last two Sunday episodes, Stay Tuned and The Voices, you'll have noticed that we had a very recent sponsor of Funimation, which is pretty awesome. And that's all we're going to say about that because they're not paying us to talk about them right now. But
they could be.
But they could be. That's the point. Again. So so we're back with Harlock Space Pirate. We've got Logan, we've got Kay, we've got the cool, like your typical fat pirate guy who wears the cool like stripy shirt, the very Smee style.
Yeah,
he was just so fucking cool. I love that
dude.
Guy.
Was badass.
He was so badass.
It was Julian.
Oh, Julian. Yeah, he was so fucking cool.
Now, you mentioned that Logan's playing the double agent, that he starts out working for his brother Ezra, but then he joins the crew, and it seems like he's really integrating well. He's really fitting in. Harlock's got him pegged right away. Like Harlock knows what's up.
Oh, he definitely knows what's up. Yeah, and Logan gets the thingy in his eye.
Yes. Yeah. So during their first boarding raid, where they are escaping the planets where Logan gets picked up, where the other three don't make the cut and get dropped back unceremoniously to the surface of the planet from very high up. They encounter a Gaia Federation ship that tries to stop them. They do this badass thing where they just fucking ram them with the Arcadia.
It just fucking, oh man, it was so cool. That whole like every space scene, like fight scene was just fucking dope.
And then they board, and presumably their intentions are to pirate things, because that's what as far as we know what they are.
They're space pirates. That's what they do.
Yeah, but Logan gets separated from the group and gets cornered in a cargo bay and lets down the face shield of his helmet, and we see that a Federation officer like holds this contraption up to his eye that looks like it's gonna fucking like stab him. Like, does he lose an eye? Is it like Harlock?
I know. I totally thought that's what it was going for.
and then like shoots a laser at his retina and like implants something to like give him the ability to like scan and transmit the things that he sees, and that's where we learn that he is in fact an operative, and we get the flashback to the Gaia Federation Council or whatever, where Ezra is convincing them of the plan that sending his brother will work. And of course, he infiltrates the crew and whatnot. But as we said, Harlock's got him pegged, so it's really interesting that he would just kind of like roll with this. Like, let's see where this goes. Like, this guy's here to put a stop to our efforts, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about that scene, in that scene where Harlock goes to rescue him, when he drops down and he falls, like things are going shit. Harlock jumps down to rescue him. And we have that moment where Logan pulls the gun. I mean, Logan, that's the thing. Like, Harlock suspects it right off the bat, but we get the moment right off the bat that, Logan, like right in the beginning of the movie, is like, hey, I'm here to kill you. You're going to do this bad thing. I'm with the Gaia Federation. He's like, yeah, bitch, I know. Like, fucking, do you want to get off this planet or not? Like, he's like, do you want to be rescued or what? And he was like, fine, but this doesn't change anything. And then they like get rescued, but he was like, okay, like, I know.
The whole sequence of events, like they go to this planet we mentioned earlier that was failed human colony. There's no more human life on the planet, and they're going to set this detonator, this like dimensional vortex thing, and it Kay asks for a volunteer, and Logan volunteers, and she's like, nah. And Harlock's, no, let him. Like, it's fine. And she's like, why did you want to come? He's like, well, it doesn't hurt to impress the captain, right? I'm the new guy. She's skeptical, but then she's like, okay, fine. So they go and they set this detonator.
Well, Harlock specifically says, like, everyone has to have a first time. Like, he even like says to her, like, let him do it. Everyone has to have their first time. Yeah.
And while they're setting this detonator, she explains to him the whole plot, so we get this understanding of what the space pirates are trying to do. And there's a couple of moments where it looks like he's gonna possibly pull his gun on her, but he doesn't. And then they realize they've accidentally set down not on solid ground, but on a giant space worm, which is attempting to buck them off. And they're falling, and just when it looks like they might all hope might be lost, Logan kind of like Sparta kicks her off this platform, and like, oh fuck, he did it, he killed her. But like, no, right into the grasping arm of another one of these little like drone ship type things that they fly, and off to safety. And that's when Harlock drops down like the fucking badass that he is.
He's just so fucking cool.
Yeah, Logan, pulls his gun on while Harlock's got his back turned, like trying to free the ship so they can fly away. And he's like, yeah, you think that you have your mission, but you need to understand who your true oppressors are. You said you wanted freedom, like learn who your true oppressors are, and then if you still want to kill me, you can try.
Which is it's just such a great, like, everything Harlock says is just so fucking badass. Like, he was such a very well written character. Like, that makes me want to, it 100% makes me want to like read the manga, like check out the other anime, because like the character of Harlock is just so, I love the sort of like overconfident, like anti-hero type character. Like, there's a really great anime that I love right now, that just started only a couple weeks ago, called the Demon Academy, the Tyrant King of Demon Academy, or something like that. I've completely forgotten, but whatever. Really, really cool. But it's just it's basically a demon lord that gets resurrected, but 2,000 years later. But then like the world forgets that he was the demon lord, and they think it was someone else. So he comes back, but he's like this insanely overpowered demon, and everyone's like, you're just some random dude. And he's like, oh yeah. And then he blows up like the entire planet and then brings it back. And they're like, I don't know, man. It's like, what the fuck? But it's a really cool show. I think they're on like episode 13. Really great
Demon
show.
King Academy.
Demon King Academy. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the academy is the academy is to like train the next demon lord to find, like, to basically hone these people, and all these people are supposedly reincarnations of and or descendants of actual demon kings, demon lords, and the goal is to, like, train and raise the next generation of demon lords. But this one is like the true demon lord. He got resurrected 2,000 years later. Great series. Pretty fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's currently available on Crunchyroll. Sorry, Funimation. um but definitely check it out. Anyways, yeah, so we've got our Harlock thing. A lot of stuff happens in this movie that is very, like, it extends out plot points that are like, let's talk about this for 30 minutes. We really only need 5 minutes on it. Like, this movie is almost 2 hours long, and it could have been an hour 20 and have been fine.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in this movie that's like, this is so unnecessary. Like, and I get, and this is another thing where they try to cram 7 books worth of manga into one movie, and that's where you get all of this bloat, because they're thinking, oh, I have to tell all of this story, but they don't. Like, they really could have just stuck with the main plot and, like, jump to those points, like talk about Logan and his brother, talk about the Gaia Federation, talk about Harlock and the dark energy thing, and just left it at that. But there's just like a bunch of little stuff that goes on. And Wandering Earth was another film that did this too.
Oh yeah,
that we did a
yeah.
while back.
Yep. I mean, that was also an excellent film, though.
Oh, that was a great movie. Yeah, but it definitely was one of those movies that was like, you could have cut out like at least 2 of these plot points and nobody would have blinked an eye.
Sure. Yeah, it's
100%.
Sometimes it just try to do too much and it doesn't quite hit. But
Yeah.
you know what? It happens. It's fine.
I get it. They have a story to tell, a cool one nonetheless.
Yeah. So where were we? So Harlock spares Logan, who doesn't end up killing Harlock, and basically like brings him into this circle of trust, and they attempt to complete their mission, and they've set 99 of the 100 detonators necessary in order to set his plan into motion. And he reveals that the final detonator needs to be set at, and here's where he lost me a little bit. He says latitude and longitude 0, which doesn't apply in space.
Right.
But also isn't like the galactic center. Like, no, it's Earth. And it's kind of weird that they would have coordinates that start at Earth. It's very...
I mean, it's very Earth-centric, but at the same time, if human life started at Earth, like, it's not a bad, like, focal point to be like, all right, this is the start of our exploration, so this is 0. Everything else is as 1 and expands forward, but I don't know.
Even now, we have a very strong understanding that Earth isn't the center of anything.
Right. I think I do agree with you, but I do understand the logic of, like, understanding that this was, this is base 0, base, and then each one they go to next and they name.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I don't know. It's still, it's
still
not scientifically accurate. Right. I mean, I get it. You're just still wrong.
I see where you're coming from. It's wrong. It's you're coming from an incorrect place, but I see it.
I see it. It's right there. Fucking wrong.
And when they get to Earth, a big secret is revealed.
Revealed.
I said revealed.
So
Revealed's not a word.
New Zealand. So the secret that's revealed is that Harlock used to be a fucking nerd. Which is true, actually. So Harlock was like this super duper, like, botanist fucking nerd guy. He was like, we can repopulate the planet by planting a couple of flowers. And everyone's like, shut up, fucking nerd. And then he was like, well, you'll regret that. And then he literally blows up the planet.
So we find out that like all along it's implied that the Gaia Federation is operating from Earth. In fact, we see a few scenes of like this glorious city that's very like Trantor or Coruscant if you're a Star Wars nerd, and like meets like Gondor, the White City, like this like towering spires and like beautiful kind of like medieval sci-fi sort of thing. And that's the seat of the Gaia Federation government, and it looks like it's in the Grand Canyon, which is kind of cool, kind of a weird place to put like a massive city, especially on a planet that like was known to be low on available resources for people. But whatever, I'm not there to make the decisions for them. But we learn all about the Homecoming War, where like after humanity had spread out amongst all of these colonies, they decided they were running out of resources on every planet, and they just wanted to go home. It was a little bit unclear as to exactly why, but like humanity wanted to come home, but there were too many of them coming from too many places, and someone decided like, no, you can't come.
You can't go home. Says can't go back.
And so they fought a whole war out of it, and then that's when the Gaia Federation was established, and seemingly to protect Earth and to prevent people from just mass recolonizing it. But what we learn now is that during the Homeland War, or the Homecoming War, it's where these were they the Death Shadow cruisers, where these massive cruisers were created, and the Arcadia being one of them, that were powered by the dark matter engines, the last 4 of the Niflung species, and they were the protectors of Earth and the enforcers of the decision not to allow people to recolonize. But as often happens when you allow corrupt and wealthy and elitist people to make the decisions, they decided they were going to recolonize Earth for themselves. And Harlock's like, fuck no, and blows them all up, and uses the dark matter engine, unleashes the dark matter, and destroys Earth.
And himself in the process.
And he becomes an immortal space pirate, and his ship is transformed into this fucking crazy death cruiser that self-heals. And oh my God, that's where it all happens.
It's so fucking cool. So you learn this. And it's very like Black Pearl. So you mentioned about like the city. I actually got a lot of Voltron vibes out of this.
Yeah.
Because like the Death Cruiser very much is like the Morlocks or whatever the guys are that's coming after Voltron, and it very much looked like the planet Eris. Like I got a lot of those vibes from it. The Voltron bad guys were the Morlocks. I'm pretty sure it was Morlocks.
It's not Morlocks. That's the underground mutants in the X-Men series, and that's also the
Zarkon.
Yeah, it's also the mutated subterranean humanoid species from the Time Machine.
Right. Yeah, but it was Zarkon is the bad guys from Voltron. Very cool. But yeah, I get a lot of vibes from that. It was cool. But no giant mech robots.
Also, is it Toei, the animation studio?
Yes, Toei Animation Studio. Yeah, for this one. Yep.
Voltron and Harlock. So that makes sense that there would be some kind of
some
thematic and visual overlap.
Yeah. So, and actually, so fun fact. So the budget of this film was $30 million, and to this day remains the largest film budget from Toei Animation ever, which is kind of crazy. But this movie made more money in Italy and Germany than it did in its native Japan, which is kind of also interesting.
Still a massive box office failure.
Yeah, by a lot. Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yeah, I mean, it made like single digit millions in Japan and only like 18 million in Italy and Germany combined.
Speaking of the visuals, the character visuals, you know what vibe I got? The all of the newer Castlevania franchise.
Oh, totally.
Animation. Yep. The huge kind of stylized medieval collars, and like the clothing, and like the shaggy hair covering half the face. And
yep. Yeah, which he already has an eye patch, so I don't know why the hair had to cover the eye patch as well as the...
I know why.
Why is that?
Because we get our other big reveal that time is a giant circle, and that Logan is essentially Harlock, and if he didn't have half his face covered at all times, we would have known that right away.
right away. Yeah, so it's kind of like a weird Dread Pirate Roberts type deal where Harlock we see the scar on
There
Harlock.
must always be a Harlock.
There must always be a Harlock. So we see that the Harlock has a scar that goes from his right eye to his left eye, and he has a patch over his right eye. And as the film progresses, we do see how he loses his eye. But later, we see a moment in which Logan is fighting Ezra. But as it turns out that Logan is better than Ezra. I've been waiting 53 minutes to make that joke. Oh, jokes are funny. But Ezra ends up shooting Logan that kind of like goes against his eye and like blows out his right eye. Now he has both the scar and the missing eye. He meets up with Harlock, who at this point has been drained of his dark matter energy, so he is no longer immortal. And he passes on the eye patch to Logan to be like, "You're the new Captain Harlock," and all the crew wakes up and the ship wakes up and heals again, and he's ready to start anew to go off and fight the man, which is cool.
It's so badass.
Like, it's just so fucking badass.
None of it makes any goddamn sense, but it doesn't matter because it's so badass.
Because it's just so fucking cool. And plus, like, Harlock has like a pistol, but he also has a sword that's also a pistol. Because it's like he pulls out a sword and I'm like, that's not a sword, like it's just a fucking pole. And then he's like, he's cutting people up with it, like, because all the stormtrooper looking dudes, he's cutting them all up like a sword. And then once he just points it at someone and just goes like bang, and I'm like, your sword's a gun? Wait, what?
Totally a gun. We get to see the muzzle of it at some point. Yeah, like it's totally like a rifle, saber rifle.
A saber rifle.
It's badass.
Yeah.
What, like, one of the things I don't like, I'm not really clear on is, are their weapons ballistic, or are they like energy based, or both?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're built ballistic, but they feel like they're very energy based. And I'm sure they're probably built ballistic just based on like historically accurate. Like electric cars still look like combustible engine cars. You know, like the battery is still, you know, in the trunk where the engine would, you know, like all the things still exist wherever they are, but they're electric cars. They're not combustible, you know, so it's like they're still look and feel the same.
It's like,
but they don't have to. Yes, pretty much. And yeah, there's that about guns in space.
Guns in space.
I don't watch the original Muppet Show now. But yeah, so Harlock. So what else should we bring up about Harlock? I think that's about it. The movie was just good.
Well, they discover that Earth is healing, and they foil a massive Gaia Federation plot to destroy the remnants of Earth to maintain the illusion, and presumably that's now going to be the new Harlock. Logan Harlock's mission is to continue to prevent the Federation from covering this up, and to spread the word that Earth is healing and that one day they will be able to go back.
I love the fact that they celebrated Earth healing by crashing their gigantic fucking rocket ship into it and then blasting off out of it. Right. Just fucking creating this like miles wide crater in the side of a planet that like is already fucked up, and like flowers are starting to grow, and they crash into the fucking flowers, and they're like, cool, Earth's healing. Blah, fuck these flowers, dude. All right, that was great. It's cool. It's all healed, bro. Let's go. Set the whole field on fire. See you in a while.
They had to get a closer look, and that was the only way.
That was the only way. We have to get a closer look by ramming our 4-mile wide ship, nuclear powered ship, into it, and then blasting off. Oh, fucking whatever, dude. It was animated, and it was cool.
Amazing.
Yeah. Good movie. So should you watch this movie?
I would watch further adventures of Harlock, Space Pirate Captain.
I, in fact, am going to watch further adventures of I will be searching down the anime, and I'm pretty sure I'll probably pick up the manga because it was pretty fucking cool. Harlock himself is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan.
It was a fun time. Again, like it's not going to make a lot of sense. It's not supposed to. There's a ton of suspension of disbelief. It's animated sci-fi. Strap in and enjoy the ride. I say watch it. It's free on Tubi TV. Our good friends over at tubitv.com. You can watch for free with or without an account. Just watch if you have a couple hours free. Actually, it's listed runtime is like 2 hours, but really like 15 minutes of that is credits. So it's about an hour and 45, hour and 50 or so. So
yeah. It's pretty good. So definitely check it out. Hey, thanks a lot for joining us, everyone. If you wanted to follow us on some form of social media, we are available at the Nahoit Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. That's the NHOIT Podcast. Tweet at us, tag us in an Instagram trailer. If there's like, you guys should watch this movie, tag us in it, like send us the YouTube link via that. And that would be really cool of them. But how else could they do that, Caleb?
Oh, well, if you visit our website, you can get to us from nightshiftradio.com/shows, as we mentioned earlier, or you can navigate directly to thenahoit.com. That's THENHOIT.com. And of course, on that, we, as always, have our schedule of upcoming episodes with links to trailers and where you can find the movies streaming if they are available. But also, we have a wonderful little contact form on there where several people have in the past, and we hope you will in the future, left us a little note with comments of how we're doing on the show, or suggestions of what movies we should watch. We did the whole month of September last month. It was all listener suggestions, and we got so many great ones that we're going to be planning another month of that sometime in the near future. And keep them coming. We'll keep doing it. We will watch your movies.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
son. Cool. So thanks a lot for joining us, everyone. It was we had a good time, and we will see you next week with what movie are we watching next week?
Oh my god, I have it. It is
Pay
the Ghost.
Another Nick Cage film.
Yes.
Very excited about this one. Pay the Ghost. In which Nick Cage goes to an accountant and is like, I owe all this money to a ghost. I don't know what I should do. And he's like, just fucking pay the ghost. No, I can't do that. Sorry, I spoiled the movie for you guys. It's like, Nick, Jesus fucking Christ, just sell the goddamn Tyrannosaurus skull and pay this fucking ghost.
You know what? Put the Declaration of Independence on eBay. Get back what you can out of it.
Right. Hawk that shit over because you owe this ghost money. He's gonna come collect, motherfucker. You don't want to owe money to a ghost.
You do not want to owe money to a ghost.
Yes. Yeah. Which, by the way, completely random, but one of my favorite episodes of the Yu-Gi-Oh series was called "Give Up the Ghost," and I just thought it was such a really cool title. But it literally had nothing to do with the plot of the, like even metaphorically, it had nothing to do with the plot of that episode. I just thought it was a really cool title.
Nobody died?
Nobody dies. Yeah. No, they just. I don't even think he sent anyone to the Shadow Realm in that episode. I know. So yeah, there it is. So next week, Pay the Ghost. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, so you can get a notification whenever that episode goes live. And we will see you next time.